You know, this lake preview, guys, is going to be one I'm going to enjoy to give because I have been fishing as a tournament fisherman out of the Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan area for so long. And I have experienced so many different types of fishing at Sault Ste. Marie. This is just one I had to stop and say, let's talk about Sault Ste. Marie. Now, we're going to be a little bit seasonally specific here because there's so much to do in Sault Ste. Marie, you can't jam it all into one lake preview. So what we're going to do is talk about the fall time of the year, late summer, late August through until early November, because let's face it, in Sault Ste. Marie, folks, early November it's snowing. So that's basically a couple of months time frame and all of the fun things that you can do on the St. Mary's River and Muskong Bay just south of Sault Ste. Marie. It starts really with the Atlantic salmon fishery. This is a unique fishery. This is a fishery that people fly from all over the country to experience. And it is done several different ways, but it's always right in the St. Mary's River. You control crankbaits for these Atlantic salmon, and they put up a fantastic fight. You can also flip bobbers and wire flies at the power plant for Atlantic salmon. And again, they're gonna fight like crazy on light spinning tackle. The Atlantic salmon fishery is unique to this area because the Lake Superior State University has a stocking and planting program that runs right here out of Sault Ste. Marie. So it keeps this fishery vibrant and expanding, actually, even out into the nearshore community waters around the Sault Ste. Marie area. So this Atlantic salmon fishery is new and old at the same time. It's new in that not a lot of people know about it and take advantage of it, but it's been around a long time. And it is hitting right in the heart of what we need here in the Great Lakes, which is a new and unique silverfish to pay attention to. Another really unique fishery here is the pink salmon fishery. Again, a lot of people aren't familiar with pink salmon, and what pink salmon are is a much smaller salmon. And they're really, there's not a lot of places like Atlantics where you can go and experience pink salmon fishing, but this is kind of a fun way to fish because this is, again, this is combat fishing. This is fast water, light spinning tackle, little vibrating blade baits, is really about the only way I know that you can effectively catch pink salmon. Now the pink salmon run strong every 2 years, and then on the off year they have a lighter run. And so it's important that you get your information right and know if you're coming during the light run or the strong run, because when the strong run is on, I'm telling you, you can catch pinks as fast as you want to catch them. I mean, 10 an hour is not unusual at all for guys when the river's filling up with them. This bite happens in September. The Atlantic bite happens in late August through September, so that'll fill your month of September up pretty good. Let's talk about a couple other species that are really, really hot in September. The first is a very, very exploding large and smallmouth bass fishery. This is something that even tournaments are starting to look at Sault Ste. Marie as a viable option. What you've got is the cold, clean water of the St. Mary's River running down through and into Muskong Bay and on to Lake Huron. And on the side bays, many of these side bays are chock full of just fantastic cabbage weed and really good structures, rock piles and gravel bars, dumps from where they do dredging, and you just got this amazing structure. And what we're starting to find out is there is world-class largemouth and smallmouth bass fishing here. 4 and 5 pound limits are necessary to win the top spots in these tournaments. And let me tell you, for a northern bass fishery, 20 and 25 pound stringers of bass that's a very big stringer. A lot of the guides are starting to tap into this, so you can actually come now. Dane Stanaway, my friend from Live to Fish Charters, is starting to take people out smallmouth and largemouth bass fishing. Another really good, and probably the final thing here, of course, is always the river walleye bite in the late summer and into the fall. And that river walleye bite a lot of times happens in and around the proximity of these weeds again. We did a whole show on this river bite, and it's kind of a unique bite because it's run behind my little offshore boards, and it's short lining, 25 to 40 feet leads with bullet weights and spinner harnesses, and that is really turned into something that is consistent every fall. You can come and take advantage of really fun walleye fishing. So Atlantic salmon, pink salmon, largemouth, smallmouth bass, and walleye fishing, all available heavy in the month of September, October, and if you dare, November. You know, when you come to Sault Ste. Marie, there's a few places that you've got to know about to make your stay enjoyable. If you're going to head to the downtown area and experience that downtown feel of the Soo Locks, which is really what most people know Sault Ste. Marie, they don't know it for fishing, they know it for the Soo Locks. Well, downtown there's a fantastic hotel, the Ojibwa Hotel, the Ramada Inn, and it has a restaurant in the back called Freighter View. And what's really fun about this hotel and restaurant is it's sitting literally across the street from the fence that stops us from physically getting to the Soo Locks. You are watching the boats go through the locks while you're eating lunch, while you're sitting in your room. It is an amazing experience. It makes the stay totally unique. And also you're right downtown, which gives you contact with all the fun shops in the downtown development area of Sault Ste. Marie. It has fudge shops, it has trinket shops, it has unique shopping places like the Mole Hole, which has some of the most unique gifts around. If you're looking for something just out of town that really is a cater to fishermen, the Budget Host Crest View. Now this little hotel right up on the hill just outside of the downtown area is run by my friend Tony, and he does a fantastic job and has been catering to me and my friends who are tournament fishermen for the last 25 years. Tony has affordable prices, super clean rooms. He and his wife have run this hotel for years, and it is a favorite for those who are budget conscious. Now, if you're looking for something to do off the water that's unique, there is tours here that are really worth taking. The Soo Locks boat tours is one that I would definitely jump on board and do. It actually, you board a boat and you go through just as if you were a ship. And so you experience that experience of going through the Soo Locks. It's a narrated tour. They tell you how the locks were built. They tell you how they're maintained. They tell you how they function. And it's very interesting. Another fun tour operated by the same company is a dinner cruise, which takes you downstream away from Sault Ste. Marie and shows you some of the amazing scenery that is the St. Mary's River. That's the Soo Locks dinner cruise. Those two boat tours are well worth your time. You know, if you're looking something land-based, right there beached and docked right in Sault Ste. Marie, close to the boat tours, you'll see a large black freighter, and it's called the Valley Camp. And what the Valley Camp endeavors to do is to show us what life was like on a Lake Michigan or a Great Lakes freighter ship. It takes us through the whole history of the Great Lakes shipping. It shows you how life was on the ships. It shows you how they progressed. It shows you the functionality and why the Great Lakes shipping was so important during that time of our history. Right across the street, another really cool one is the Tower of History. Now, a lot of people drive by this, what looks like this massive cement structure that just looks out over the St. Mary's River and the Canadian shoreline on the other side and wonders what it is. It's a very cool museum for giving homage to Native Americans and Native American progression in and around. It basically takes you from the earliest times of Sault Ste. Marie, and a lot of people don't understand. Sault Ste. Marie has been a city since 1637. This is one of the oldest cities anywhere in the United States, and it has a huge history. And Native Americans and the missionaries and the type of people that came in, all having their place in history, it's all covered right there in the Tower of History. And it's a climbing tower where you read, and on each floor you'll encounter different parts of our history. And then when you get to the top, of course, you've got a fantastic view, a killer view of the Valley Camp, the St. Mary's River, and the far Canadian shoreline. So take advantage of these off-the-water situations when you're here at Sault Ste. Marie. But thanks for joining us for this lake preview on Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan in the fall on the St. Mary's River.